You've been pressed into duty, as a sophomore. Kind of tell me how you feel you're coming along.
It's been really interesting so far this year because this whole offseason I've been training as an offensive tackle, but so far I've been starting as the left guard. So it's been a whole like switch. I've been switching around a lot, but it's been really fun being out there, and I feel like I've gotten a lot better as the games have gone on, I would say.
Yeah, sorry about that. I meant to say guard. I tackled my brain, but yes, guard. Sorry, Wags. Go ahead.
What's been the biggest adjustment?
Basically, it was a totally different position than tackle. The technique is definitely a lot more different. I'm pulling a lot as a guard, and then it's pretty similar to tackle, but I'm going against a lot bigger guys on the inside as I'm a decently undersized O lineman, so that's a little bit different. But all in all, it wasn't the biggest adjustment for me, and I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly.
So, I'm curious. When they were looking for a guard, why did they turn to a tackle? Kind of how did that evolve? When did you find out from, Coach O'Rourke or Coach Ingram, whomever it was, that, oh, by the way, we're going to move you inside?
It was actually as soon as the Delaware game ended, Coach Ingram came up to me and was like, you might be getting some offensive guard reps this next week. And I was kind of surprised because, I didn't practice at all at guard this whole offseason. And then I just started getting a ton of reps of practice, and I guess they liked what they saw, and they liked what the speed is. I feel like it's my strength. They liked how fast I was moving on the inside and getting those zero technique noses cut off, and just my speed and physicality. I think is what the coaches were looking
for. Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Connor, what has it meant to you to have this opportunity as a sophomore to be playing such an important role and filling a spot that really needed to be filled on the line?
It's been very exciting for me and my family. I have a ton of support back home, and then it's amazing being in like such a huge program, and that's been very successful in the past. It's been amazing being a part as a sophomore as a left guard. It's been very exciting. I'm very honored to play this position and just to play for the line and all in general. Cool.
We've been talking to Coach Miyamoto, and he says really the biggest goal he has for the offense right now is to finish drives, to complete those drives. What do you guys need to do on the offensive line to play a role in that, to continue those drives and finish them off?
We just need to keep getting better each week, honestly. We watch film on the games. We watch film on our opponents every single day, and we keep making some little tiny mistakes that truly can be the difference between a touchdown and not scoring on these drives. And I feel like as the games go on, hopefully we'll keep working on stuff, and then by the end of the season, or hopefully this Tulsa game, we can see some improvement. Instead of just stopping and giving up going to fourth down and punting it or turning the ball over, we can finish these drives and it'll put us in a much better position to win. We just got to keep grinding for real.
How fired up do you guys get when you find out that the coach is going to go for it on fourth down, that he's got the confidence that you guys can make that push to get the first down?
Oh, we talk to each other in the huddle, and we're hyping each other up because that's probably going to be one of the biggest plays of the game, and we know we have to fire off as hard as we can, and we try our hardest to hype each other up in the huddle, but sometimes it doesn't work. But we like to get after them on fourth down for sure.
Phil Bergman.
Connor, could you just talk about the emotions, what it was like running out with that first team in a Navy Air Force game, just kind of looking out into the crowd?
So yeah, that was my second start. So I kind of got a little warm up from ECU. The crowd was phenomenal at ECU, but it was definitely a different type of atmosphere at the Air Force game as well. Just being out there when the Jets flew overhead the game, I just felt the adrenaline rush, and then just running out in the field with it was an amazing crowd. They were extremely loud on that first drive. So it's still taking a little bit getting used to playing in such a huge crowd. I think there was 36,000 people. I've never played in front of these kind of huge crowds. So it's like an adrenaline rush, and then I get used to it after like the first play, and then I'm full go, full speed for the rest of the game.
Just can you go into detail just a little just about yourself? So you're from where you're from, and then did you play guard or tackle in high school, and just how you end up at the academy?
Yes. Okay. So I'm from Kennisburg, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 minutes south of Pittsburgh. I grew up there my whole life, and often I played offensive tackle for the first time my senior year of high school. I played tight end my whole life, basically growing up, and then I got that offer from Navy, and they wanted me to switch to offensive line, and offensive tackle was probably the easiest switch over for me from tight end to offensive line. And then I just continued getting better each day I played at this position.
And lastly, so now you're playing guard. If you were to go back and tell yourself 3 years ago when you were a junior tight end in high school that you'd be starting in an American Athletic Conference program as guard, what would you tell yourself?
Probably wouldn't believe it, because I mean, I was 220 pounds as a junior, and now I'm playing against these really phenomenal Division I teams as a inside O lineman. I would have never guessed. I mean, I could have seen myself playing tackle maybe as a junior, but never in a million years would I think I'd be playing offensive guard as a sophomore right now.
Thank you.
Wags.
Connor, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Well, so the offensive line comes under scrutiny when the running game is not working well. What do you guys take some responsibility for trying to get the rushing attack in gear?
I think it all starts with us, and then I mean our coaches, Coach Ingram and Coach O'Rourke, are always on us, because it really is. It starts with us. I mean, we're the guys moving. We're moving the bodies. We're creating the holes, and if the ball's not moving, it's, for the most part, it probably is our fault. Someone's either not getting up quick enough to the next level, or someone's missing a block. But I mean, we have to be perfect. We have a very small margin of error, and that's what we're working on. We're just trying to get, like, we're working for perfection, because it is like they have to run right behind us every time, especially for how much we're running the ball this year.
So what, in your opinion, has to get fixed? I mean, do you feel like you're close to getting where you need to be?
I feel like we've been getting better each week. I feel like we're playing more physical and faster, but coaches tell us we have to be more physical. We have to push it to the next gear to play faster, just to compete with these other teams. It's just going to keep taking a ton of reps in practice. We just gotta really focus and limit the amount of mistakes we're making in the games.
So when you moved to guard, was there anybody in particular you turned to try to help you with the transition? Maybe another player that you trusted?
Yes, I absolutely. I talked to Josh Pena probably the most, and Ahmad was the starter of the first game, so I talked to him a lot. But I'd say mostly it was Josh Pena, because he's very knowledgeable in the position since he played it he started a lot of games last year playing guard. So me and him we still communicate. We ask each other questions still now. He's starting to ask me questions sometimes for offensive guard. But yeah, we communicate a ton, and he was very helpful when I first started learning with technique and what to do in the plays.
So we all know that chemistry is the key for an offensive line, just knowing how to operate together. And Coach Niamat was mentioning that you guys haven't had a lot of practice reps for a variety of reasons, new people that were injured during August camp, etc. Do you feel like you're getting closer to where that chemistry develops?
I feel like, yeah, each week we're getting used to each other. I'd say more and more. I mean, I've never played with these guys until 3 weeks ago. I know we got David Hickson. He's a sophomore as well. So I feel like we have a young O-line, and like I said, that we all haven't really worked together except for the past four weeks, I'd say. So I feel like that's why I say I think as we keep playing more and more games, we're going to keep getting better and better, and it'll give us a much better chance to win with the chemistry.
Scott Wyckoff.
What have you learned game planning and getting ready for what you've seen on film about Tulsa?
So we watched some film yesterday before practice, and they got some big boys up front. So they're going to be probably a little bit bigger than what I'm used to so far this year. So I'm gonna have to, play extra low, play extra fast, just get underneath these really big guys that I haven't seen before this year. So that's our game plan going into it. We're looking at some stuff, but we just got to play low and fast for these guys.
What kind of energy do you get from the home crowd running out onto Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium and knowing that the brigaded midshipmen are there behind you?
I mean, I think it's awesome. There's a ton of support. I have all my friends in the crowd. My family's here almost every home game. I mean, I just love the feeling of having all the support behind our back. And then the crowd is always huge and loud. And I mean, no matter how the game's going, they usually have our backs the whole time. So it's awesome.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bill Bergman.
Connor, especially at the NFL level, you see a lot of former tight ends that are now playing offensive line. Why is this transition, you think, so common between tight ends going to the O-line?
Okay, so tight ends are they're like glorified offensive linemen, I feel like, because they can move. I feel like they can move very well. They're a little bit on the smaller side, but they usually have, the footwork, the speed, and I feel like that's what NFL teams are probably looking for. They're looking for the guys who can move extremely well. And I feel like tight end is the position that, these guys start out as. They start off as these really quick guys, and it was a pretty easy transition for me. So it's probably easy for these NFL guys as well.
And lastly, John Marshall talked after the game about not letting Air Force beat them twice. How important is it to not let that loss beat you guys twice heading into Tulsa?
I feel like we have to. I mean, it was a very tough loss. I remember I've never felt so bad after a loss. But we have to forget about it. We have to move on. This game, it's like we're 0-0 again. It's a brand new week. Like we have to go 1-0 this week. Like Tulsa, this is a huge game for us, and I feel like we have a good chance to win it. So, but we just have to forget about the past.
Colin, I'm curious, what position did you play in high school?
I played inside linebacker.
Okay, because I mean, for Division I, you're smaller for an inside linebacker. You aren't quite built like Diego Fago or Will Harbor. What's it like, and how do you hold up at your size at playing that position?
Yeah, I've always been undersized for an inside linebacker, and I've understood that. So I've learned to kind of play in ways to find an advantage at my size, kind of with my speed, using my hands and stuff like that. So there's disadvantages and there's advantages to it.
In terms of the physicality, though, I mean, you obviously must play bigger than your size. I mean, if you're holding up in there and taking on blocks and, hitting big ball carriers, you obviously must play bigger than your size, right?
Yeah, that's all the mentality. I'm fully confident in what I can do physically. I put the work in during the off season, and it's just about going out there and doing it.
Thanks.
Let's go to Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Colin, how important is it for you guys to get on a roll now? You've been playing real well, especially defensively, but to get on a roll where you can really put some wins back to back.
Yeah, we're confident that's coming. As a defense, we trust the offense. As offense, they trust the defense. Once we all put it together as a team, we're going to be a really good team. So, we're just going to keep putting the work in each day, and we'll figure it out.
What's been the key to you guys being so good against the run?
I think it's just effort. I think it's just 11 guys running to the ball on every single snap. Everyone wanted to be part of the tackle. We have no selfish players on defense. Everyone's just out there to do their job, whether it's to make the tackle or just spill the ball so that the other player can make the tackle. And I think that's what makes a special defense is when people are willing to sacrifice their bodies for others.
Seeing the film and talking to the coaches, what do you know about Tulsa?
They're a big physical team. We know that every team in our conference is like that. So we're going to just have to go out there and attack them. They're going to be a good football team. So we got to bring our best game.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bill Bergman.
Colin, how much has Coach Newberry really impacted your football IQ since coming to the academy?
Yeah, Coach Newberry's a great coach. he's on top of his X's and O's, and he puts us in great position to make plays. So I trust him, Coach Volker. They always put me in the right spot. You know, they get us prepared as anybody.
What do you remember about Tulsa when you played them last year?
I was just on kick return during that time last year, so I didn't play much on defense. But like I said, they're still a physical, big football team. So like I said, we're gonna have to bring our best game.
And lastly, I mean, teams have been preaching this 1-0 mentality week to week all year. Just how important is that as you come back home to Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, every week's 1-0. You know, whether you win or you lose, it's about moving on to the next week, going to get the victory. So that's what we're focused on this week on 1-0.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Wags.
Colin, talk about the inside linebacker rotation. You guys got a good group there with Will and I guess behind him is Johnny, or Johnny and Will at one position and you and Fletcher at the other.
Yeah, it's a great room. The linebacker room is extremely competitive. We all love each other. We're all out there to get better. We're all willing to help each other. So I think it's a great rotation.
Talk about Tulsa and the challenges they present. I think they they have a run first mentality. They have a high time of possession. I think somewhere around 32 minutes. So that means they are running the ball effectively, controlling the ball. Talk about the challenges Tulsa present.
Yeah, so like every week, we always focus on stopping the run, not letting any big plays in the secondary. So like I said, we're just gonna have to stop the run, control the passing game, and out physical them.
So last year you kind of came on strong at the end and ended up starting the Army-Navy game. How much did your success at the end of last season propel you forward to this season?
Getting some playing time last year definitely helped, but I think the biggest thing was spring ball this year. Getting a ton of reps then, that really helped my game. But yeah, last year it was nice to get in and kind of experience my first D1 football, but I still got a lot of work to do and I'm still doing it.
And what did you learn from Diego Fago, a guy who, you know, embodied what an inside linebacker is about?
Yeah, Diego was a great teammate, great player. He was a good teammate for the whole linebacker room. You know, you could definitely take many skills away from his game. I definitely watched what he did and try to take some parts of his game, see if I could put it in mine.
Thanks.
Sure.
Scott Wyckoff.
What is it, Colin, about Don Bosco High School that puts so many players into Division I programs like you and some of your classmates are in now?
Yes, sir. Don Bosco was, you know, greatest choice I could have made in high school to go there. There, you know, you play D1 players every single week. You're playing against 4 stars, 5 stars. So I think it definitely prepares you well. The coaching staff's amazing there. They, you know, it's like a prep school for a college. It's amazing.
And what's it like having Don Bosco graduate as one of your coaches right now defensively with Kevin?
Oh yeah, Kevin's a great friend. Was a great teammate. He's great. It's nice to have him around still. So it's really nice.
And were you able to take it to another level when you were able to take that year at Navy Prep School to continue that preparation to play at Navy now?
Yeah, it definitely helped with the playbook. Unfortunately, we didn't have a football season because of COVID. But in terms of the playbook and getting in the weight room and stuff, it definitely helped.
And when you talk about New Jersey football and Don Bosco, have you played against many of your teammates from high school since you've been at Navy?
I actually have not yet. A lot of the guys went to Rutgers, a lot of different schools that we actually don't play. So I have not. I have a few friends that left Don Bosco that were at Army, but I've not. No, I haven't played really any.
I guess that'll be cool once you get a chance to do that.
Yeah, against Notre Dame, their running back was from St. Joe's. I played in my junior and senior year, so that'll be a good game.
Cool. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Phil.
Colin, PJ Volker, he seems very animated on the sidelines every time I see him. What's he like as a coach?
Coach Volker is great. He always brings a ton of energy. He's always getting us prepared. Like you said, he's a high energy coach. I think he puts us in great positions to be successful. I couldn't ask for a better coach.
What do you enjoy about specifically the will linebacker position, and what differs it from the Mike for fans?
Yeah, the will linebacker position, I truly enjoy it. Coach Newberry, likes to send us a lot, blitz us. It kind of just, always in the box. So it's a good position to make plays. I'd say the Mike and the Will, they're pretty similar, but and there's differences in pass coverages and stuff like that. But for the same part, it's not too different.
And lastly, you guys will be back home this weekend. What's it like just to play in front of that home crowd and have that energy behind you out on the field?
Yeah, it's great. We definitely want to get a win for everyone in the stadium. We've been working hard for it, and we want to go out there and do that this weekend.